Oh, I love this question. Someone wrote to me and said, I'm working through a shoulder injury and I still want to be able to work out, but my bum shoulder can't lift as much as I can with my good shoulder. Should I just go as heavy as I can on my good shoulder and lighten up on the bad shoulder? I have a pretty strong opinion about this, but we have to start by asking one question. What is your goal of working out? Is your goal of working out during that shoulder rehab to get one really big, strong arm that continues to work better and better, and then reduce the amount of information you have about your bad shoulder and delay its recovery? If so, keep lifting heavy on your good side and go ahead and throw up a lightweight on your bum side. If your goal is actually to heal your shoulder, then we're going to take a slightly different approach. So let's just start with a little bit of data before we go any further. A recent study showed that if you have a sprained ankle and you splint the good ankle, the one that did not get sprained after the first 6 days, the acute period, if you splint the good ankle, the bad ankle heals faster. Now, some of that has to do with compensation. If you've got a bum ankle and it hurts to step on it, you're going to tend to lean more heavily on the good ankle, right? Maybe if you have to take a big step or a step down, you're going to utilize that foot. If that foot is splinted, then what tends to happen is it evens out your behavior and it forces you to use the bad ankle to do stuff. And when it comes to rehabilitating an ankle, if there's not like internal joint damage, the best rehab you can do is actually to use that ankle and to continue to work your full range of motion, in addition to cars and pails exercises and stuff like that. So, what we want to remember is that if we continue to favor the good side will get better and the bad side will have less chance of recovery. But second, we want to talk about your neural map. So if you were to see what the map of your body looked like up inside your brain, it's based on what you have for nerves and nerve sensations. So in your neural map, your hand doesn't look like this. Your hand looks humongous with these gigantic bubbles because when you touch your hand surfaces where you have a lot of nerves, um, there's a lot of information coming in. So your brain has to find a way to map, to understand, or to prioritize that. And it makes sense. The places where you need more information, where it can inform what you do in the world, you have a greater amount of nerve numbers and also density. If it came to something like your back would not look like a back. It would actually be quite small because the amount of innervation in your back is really limited. Try this exercise. Tape a piece of paper to someone else's back and give them a piece of paper in front of them. Very slowly draw a picture on their back and watch what they draw below. They can't feel what you're doing and have a very limited sense of even what part of your back is getting the sensation on it. You would be surprised. You think you could draw like a house and the person will draw a house. I guarantee they will not. It's actually a fun game to do with your kids if you're stuck home. So here's what we want to think about. If we have an area of the body that we're trying to heal, we want there to be more information about that body and also to be prioritizing that as a place for your body to send nutrients and repair molecules and circulation. So, if we are going to give a ton of information, let's just say my bum shoulder, I can put up 12 pounds into a strict press and I can put up easily, evenly, and cleanly. Now, I know I can strict press with my good shoulder a 30-pound weight. If I continue to push up this 30-pound weight, there's a ton more force here. It requires more recruitment of muscle fibers. So for my brain, now I've got one shoulder that looks like this on the brain map and one shoulder that looks like this. It's less information, it's less force. We have to remember that your cells communicate only in the language of force. So you put force or weight or load or impact in your joints, that is information and language, so that those cells know what you need from them and they know how to modify. So if you have a bum shoulder, and let's say you're working your shoulder cars and you're working around the parts that feel sticky and you're working in your pain-free range, and you also want to work on your good shoulder, all you need to do is do more reps on the bum side to prioritize healing this shoulder until things are even. So, in my opinion, should you be throwing up a 30 and a 12? I wouldn't. I'd keep it even and maybe even throw a couple of extra reps as long as they're pain free on the side that you're working on healing, on the place that you're trying to recover from. Because continuing to practice in a lopsided manner will simply prioritize the good shoulder, deprioritize the bad shoulder, and slow down the process of recovery and healing.